Excuse me?
No, I have a girlfriend.
Sorry?
No, I have a girlfriend. No, I have a girlfriend.
Est-ce que je peux chanter avec toi?
No, I have a girlfriend.
He broke their brains. I guarantee in a million years, none of these women ever expected to be told no. I mean, I feel a little bit bad for the individual women, but on a social commentary level, this is peak comedy because he's using the line that so many women have used on men, even in situations where the man wasn't hitting on the woman.
I have a boyfriend.
Let me tell you something that you might not know about women. The best way to make your existence known to them, to make them notice you, to occupy space in their minds, is to reject them, to tell them no. If this guy with the piano had said yes and played their songs, I guarantee once she leaves, she's never going to think about this guy ever again. He's just one more man in a sea of men who does everything that she asks. But this piano guy saying no, rejecting them, I guarantee he's going to live rent-free in their heads for weeks. Look at their faces. These women are shaken up. They're not going to recover quickly because the female mind craves approval, validation, and they remember the man who does not give it to them. And sadly, this is why women are attracted to bad boys.
I like guys who just who don't want to date me, really.
Totally. And that's, yeah.
If you want to stop being invisible to women, then you need to understand how deep in the female psyche the word no is felt. I don't like you. I don't want you. No, I won't do you any favors. Women cannot stop thinking about the men who turn them down, who treat them badly. That is the appeal of bad boy jerks. But Alexander, women always say that they want a nice man who treats them well. Well, I don't really care what women say. I pay attention to what they do.
I've always been into like the dickheads or like the douchebags of the male community. But because I was so traumatized by them fuckers, I'm sitting there being like, I want a nice man. Like, why can't a guy just come to my life and be so nice and, like, be obsessed with me? And then I find, like, a guy that's really nice, and I am so thrown off. Like, I really did find a guy who's, like, super fucking nice. Like, the most respectful, like, anything I really need, like, he's gonna do it for you. And I'm sitting there like, but like it's just too nice.
Most men at some point in their life have been the nice guy. It's like a rite of passage. Most dudes have to go through this. They employ the strategy of telling women, I'm not like those bad guys who mistreat you. I'm nice to you. I do you favors. I give, and I ask for so little in return. And they're thinking that at some point, all of those efforts are going to be rewarded. They think that because they have no idea how the female mind works. They pedestalize women, thinking that they're these incredible virtuous creatures and that those women will see how much effort he, the nice guy, is putting in and that they will be grateful. They'll show appreciation, they'll give thanks, and one day maybe even fall in love. It's the complete opposite. By being so available and accommodating, they make themselves invisible. If you do everything that a woman asks you to do, then you don't exist for her. She takes you for granted. She does not notice you, she does not value you, and she's certainly not going to stay loyal to you.
If you could say something to your ex right now, what would it be?
I hope you're good. He was amazing, actually. He was an amazing guy.
He was amazing?
Yeah.
Then why you lost feelings?
He just wasn't it for me, but he's a really good guy. Amazing guy.
What can men do to avoid a situation like that? They're an amazing guy. They do everything right.
You can do. Like, it's just like your feelings. Like, there's absolutely nothing. He can treat you like a queen and be the best guy ever, but like, you just, I don't know.
It's because men don't understand how women think that they are fundamentally facing the wrong direction. He thinks, I'll go 90% of the way, I'll put in 90% of the effort, and then she'll be grateful to me that she only had to do 10%. She'll be appreciative. Wrong. You do 90% and you guarantee that you are invisible to her. You'll get no gratitude. The way to make women attracted to you is to do less, not more. This is what the bad boys have figured out. They say no, they push women away. They treat them badly, they give them almost nothing, and then watch how women respond respond to those men?
Put a finger down if you paid almost $400 to go see a guy that you've been talking to for about a month to spend a weekend with him in Sydney, and the night before you go you have a bit of an argument and he says he needs space and you don't talk to him for the whole day and you get really anxious and you want to cancel your flight and everything's telling you that you should cancel your flight, but you don't because you give him the benefit of the doubt and your friends say you shouldn't, so you don't, and you go to Sydney. And it's kind of weird because I'm there for 3 days and he planned nothing for us to do together, and all we did was watch movies in bed and have sex.
I know her tone is annoyed and she's saying that she did not like it, but do not judge a woman on her words, judge her on her actions. So he has an argument with her and pushes her away. How does she respond? What are her actions? She still flies out to see him, pays out of her own pocket, and even though he planned nothing for her, is she angry? Does she punish him? Does she walk away? No, she spends 3 days with him in bed watching movies and having sex. The man in this story is not going 90% of the way, he's going 10% of the way. And look at the results. Why? Why are women like this? It's called the effort justification effect. If you understand this, then you understand women.
What's with people putting up with hazing? Why do they like or commit to groups or things that they suffer for? Effort justification effect is when the more effort people put into a task or an activity, they tend to evaluate it more favorably, even if the task is difficult or unpleasant. This effect is most likely to occur when there's no obvious reasons to be doing the task, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to be doing it. So people will justify the behavior by changing their attitudes towards it and liking it more. Basically, people change their attitudes to justify their suffering.
The effort justification effect. If you make a woman work for your affection, make her struggle, make her suffer, she is more likely to find you attractive because she will backwards rationalize that there's a good reason why she went through all that effort. She places a higher value on you than she otherwise would have. She has to in order to justify her choices. For the record, I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm just explaining how it works. This is a real phenomenon. Corporations like IKEA have already figured this out and then built it into their business model. They discovered that there's great customer satisfaction if people buy furniture that they have to assemble themselves, specifically because of the effort that you have to expend, because of the suffering that you have to endure to create the furniture. You value it more. Look at this graph. People place a higher value on a product and are willing to pay more for it because they had to work hard to create it. In this research study, we found that builders bid significantly more for their boxes than non-builders. Thus, while both groups were given the chance to buy the same product, those who assembled their own box were willing to pay a 63% premium compared to those who were given the chance to buy an identical pre-assembled box. This is a real thing. Have you ever seen women assemble IKEA furniture? Then you'll know that the happiness that they experience is massively enhanced because they had to do it themselves. They value it because of their own satisfaction, because of their own struggle and effort that they expended.
We are building a kitchen island. Oh, hey, like my new countertop? Me too.
I am feeling the effects of masculinity right now. I feel the testosterone. I want to go to war. I want a lightsaber. I'm a man. War! Get this seatbelt on!
That's funny, but do you see why this is relevant in the realm of dating? If you keep delivering yourself to women as though you are pre-assembled furniture and she has to expend no effort, she's not going to be grateful. She's going to take you for granted. If you want her to value you, then you need to be like IKEA furniture. Make her work hard, struggle, put in some effort. If you ever read the romance novels that women love, you'll notice that the male romantic lead does not begin the story as the perfect man. No, he's often a bit of a scoundrel, but what happens in the narrative is that gradually she expends some effort on him. She uses her femininity to tame his wild masculinity, and that's what brings the satisfaction. She wants to put in that effort. And for the record, I do not recommend only putting 10% of effort in with women, because while it might work on some really trashy, low self-esteem women, that's not the kind of women that you want to be dating. When it comes to a high-quality woman with solid self self-esteem and a healthy relationship dynamic, we're talking 50-50. I hope I made that clear in my videos. I'm never advocating for men to be dickheads or assholes to women. No, treat women nicely. If you're in a relationship with her, then buy her a present now and then, do her some favors, help with the cleaning, all that shit. What I'm saying is don't go beyond the 50% mark, because if you do, expecting gratitude, you're going to be resentful and she's not going to notice. High quality women want you to only do 50% because they're going to be able to enjoy the nice gestures, the compliments that you do provide her. But when you have standards for her as well that she needs to meet, it's going to give her a sense of purpose and satisfaction. Goodness, my man is so high quality, he really expects a lot from me. And look, I'm rising to the occasion. I'm meeting his standards and his expectations. I'm doing my part. I'm doing 50%. It is not cruel to ask women to do their fair share. And I don't mean 50% of everything, like you split all chores 50% down the middle. No, mostly I advocate men doing the masculine stuff and women doing the feminine stuff. But what's important is that both people are contributing. Where it gets messed up and toxic in any dynamic is if the man or woman is putting in more than 50%. You're not doing a kindness to the other person. Nobody wants to be treated like they're a baby incapable of doing their part. At least no healthy person with a positive mindset. Understand, deep down, it is not women's highest aspiration to sucker off some poor leech of a man. I know that TikTok is filled with women like that, and I showcase them on my channel as proof of how bad things can be, of showing you what to avoid. But the regular, normal women who are already in 5, 10, 20-year marriages, if they're true to themselves and they have high self-esteem, they're not going to want to live off the slave labor of some man. They'd get bored, they'd feel guilty, they want to contribute. Nathaniel Brandon, the objectivist founder of self-esteem, wrote extensively about this, how self-esteem, feeling good about yourself, largely comes from the sense of your own efficacy. When you notice that you are good at things, that you're making a positive impact, you feel good about yourself. Healthy people want that. They crave that. And men who do 90% in a relationship are denying women the opportunity to do that. And so the women become miserable, they take it out on their partner, and the whole thing becomes toxic, codependent, just a total disaster. So all you guys who are in relationships or who are dating a girl, let me ask you this question and be very, very honest with me and with yourself. Are you putting in more than 50%? If the answer is yes, stop it. Stop martyring yourself for the nice guy cause. Stop expecting some future reward. And yes, some relationships have become so entrenched in their codependence that if a man stops putting in more than 50%, the relationship may break down. And look, everyone's situation is going to be unique. I don't know exactly what you're going through, but let me tell you that if the relationship is only functioning because you're putting in a superhuman effort while she sits on her ass, it's not a healthy relationship. Something's got to change. Start small if you have to, but please begin to make some shifts in a positive direction. And so practically speaking, how do you do that? How do you walk it back? If you have overextended yourself, how do you bring things back to just 50%? Like in theory, it sounds good, but you probably want to know what are the actual practical steps to achieve this new arrangement. That's what I'm going to spend the rest of this video talking about. If you like the idea of the theory and you want to know the practical advice, please come over to Patreon where this video continues. Patreon is where I post the full-length versions of my videos. What you see here on YouTube, these are just the shortened, abridged versions. If you would like access to the full-length versions, which go into a lot more depth, then please come and join me on Patreon.